So in most metropolitan areas around the country, growth generally means further and further up. In suburban Detroit, it's always meant further and further out. To talk about this issue, we've got Clinton Township Deputy Supervisor Dan O'Leary. He's going to talk to us about growth and fixing existing roads first. So Dan, thanks for working with our Establishing Quality Roadways Committee.
Well, it's great to be here talking about roads and the committee's work on them.
All right. So tell us how this issue generally impacts roads and infrastructure.
Well, I think it means we pay twice. First, we pay to repair the aging roads in established communities like ours. And then second, we pay to build or expand a new road. But as the committee's pointed out, it costs much more to convert that older 2-lane dirt road into a 5-lane paved road than to simply maintain an existing road.
The Macomb County Department of Roads tells us that turning a 2-lane road into a 5-lane road costs $9 million per mile. And the price tag of a mill and fill, essentially resurfacing a 5-lane road, is about $2.5 million.
Well, that highlights how sprawl increases the cost for everyone. But sprawl impacts much more than roads. Turning farm fields into subdivisions calls for new water and sewer lines, new electric poles, new gas lines. It also means new schools with associated debt. Moving from the southern part of Macomb County to more rural areas creates new costs without necessarily increasing the number of people who can pay for those costs. And this makes it more expensive for everyone.
Dan, do you think people understand that a new home in a new neighborhood often comes with an expectation of fewer municipal services and probably more time in the car and more time on the roads and traffic congestion?
Some people factor that into their decision making, but their patience has a timestamp. In a few years, they'll wonder why the electric grid is so sketchy out there. Why don't we have good broadband? And why isn't my road paved? People choose to move from the city to experience a more rural lifestyle, but eventually they yearn for the same amenities they had in the city. As a result, the pressure begins to mount on public infrastructure agencies like the Department of Roads.
All right, so tell us more about how this pressure does mount on this agency that's responsible for fixing our roads.
Well, the Department of Roads tells us there's not enough money to fix or maintain the existing roads so that they don't fail. But when people relocate to rural areas and demand new roads, that cost takes away funds from maintaining existing roads. This leads to more costs to repair roads in the future. And again, it's the same number of county residents using scarce funds to pay for more roads instead of just maintaining the existing ones. Macomb County's population doesn't grow when someone moves from one end to the other. It just shifted. But the need to maintain the infrastructure has grown.
If they don't have enough money to fix the existing roads, how are they ever going to find enough money to maintain a larger network of roads? How do we mandate that we fix existing roads first?
Well, I think that has to be a consideration for policymakers when they look at changes to the existing funding formula.
We've talked a lot about changing Public Act 51 of 1951. We need to fix it so that the funding formula considers the width of the road, not just the length. I think we need more dollars spent on roads from Lansing. I also think we need to increase the amount of match a local community has to pay if their goal is to expand the roads rather than maintain or resurface their existing roads.
Like any family or business, you must avoid buying more stuff when you can't afford to maintain what you already have. To me, that's just common sense. We need to maintain the existing roads before building new roads. Otherwise, you have more and more roads with the same number of people paying to maintain them, which raises everyone's costs.
That is a great way to present it. Very well said. Any closing thoughts?
Well, roads are public infrastructure that everyone depends on. They impact people and communities in profound ways, from the property values of our homes to the amount of money we spend on car repairs. Roads are even a consideration of where businesses decide to locate and bring their jobs. Communities and residents cannot be asked to shoulder this burden alone, because keep in mind, townships don't collect any taxes for roads and they don't own any roads. Proper state, federal, and county investment and priorities are needed to pave the way toward good infrastructure.
Visit our About Roads page on clintontownship.com, where you can find more informative videos and how to contact your state legislator with our easy-to-use fillable form. Let's make our voices heard and establish quality roads here in Clinton Township.